So, hello, welcome to my channel. This is my first YouTube video, so it's gonna be really awkward and I'm just getting used to everything and like just getting started. But today I'm going to be doing my September plan with me. So I've had this idea for like a few weeks now, and it's only because I didn't really know what to do for this month's theme. So I just like went on my Pinterest, looked at one of the boards I made and was like, oh my god, this would be a really cool theme for September. Yeah, but I do have some pictures that I printed out from my Pinterest that I'm going to be using maybe like as faux stickers or something, just like stick them down collaging. I mean, I did do a collage theme before, so I'll try not to do too much collage, but yeah. And sorry for the lighting, I still have to figure out what to do with that, but yeah, let's just get started. So here I'm just taking out my plan for this month, just kind of a brainstorm of my ideas. Usually there's a lot more than this, but because I already knew which colours I wanted to use, it was kind of simple. I'm writing out the month here, but I ended up using the original one that I used for the plan. Sometimes what you start off with is the best thing. So I'm just picking some pictures to stick down in collage. I kind of regret doing this because it made the page more cluttered than it needed to be, but I am going to use these pictures in the rest of the month eventually. And even if I don't, I can just use them later. But yeah, I do like it. I just feel like it made the whole page a little bit too cluttered. So at this bit, a bit of the tea came off. Like, so many mistakes were happening in this, but I managed to fix it a little bit. It does look a bit messy. I promise you I'm not always this clumsy. So I was just drawing some lines there to try and keep it symmetrical and evenly spaced, but now I'm just drawing these random ovals, circles, squares and rectangles together to make this sort of design. Kind of reminds me of a bus pattern, which was what I was inspired by. So I found it was best to go down with the yellow first, because when I was testing this out, if I went down with a darker colour, the yellow would sort of bleed through it and get a bit murky. So I decided to go yellow and then red and then lay down the blues finally. So yeah, here I'm just laying down the blues, which should be the final step. But I think I go on for a bit longer, adding small little details. So one thing I will say about this is that depending on what kind of journal you have and what kind of paper you have, this might bleed through, especially with the colouring. My paper is 125 grams per square meter, but even then, like, it did not fare well, especially with the blues. So even though here it looks like it's plain, I actually had to glue two sides together, which I rarely ever do, but because of how much I was colouring, I had to. So as you can see, this month actually has 6 weeks, but I'm drawing out 5 weeks, and it takes me literally until the last second to notice, which is very annoying because I had the space to draw 6 weeks. But yeah, I guess September's just one of those months. So even looking at it now, I'm like, how did I miss that? I guess it's just because I'm so used to drawing like a block of 3 and then a week at the top and a week at the bottom. So I was just making the headers for the days of the week. and tried to do this serif kind of typewriter font, but I didn't have a reference with me, so I was just making up as I go along, so it looks kind of messy. So you won't be able to see it because it's annoyingly not in shot. But here is where I realized that I messed up because I wrote 16. I was like, hold on. So I had to add like another box. I really didn't know what to do. I stopped for a minute. I was like, should I draw this whole thing again? But because I already glued the page together because of the title page, I decided no, I'll just have to firm it and sit with my mistake. Let's pray I'm not doing anything on the 30th. So I'm just leaving a little section for some goals. Usually these are uni related and anything that I need to get done by the end of the month. And I'm just writing out the month again. So here I'm just looking at my old habit tracker because I'm very, very, very bad at grid spacing. So I need to keep counting every single time I draw something. So I just look back and see what I did there and then count from there. Here, my camera actually ran out of storage and the battery was dying. So I have to transfer some stuff onto my computer before I carried on. So that's why it's a bit disjointed, and I actually had drawn out the mood tracker side as well before realizing that the camera had stopped recording. As you can see, I'm getting the hang of it. My calligraphy is very bad. I'm still learning and going along. So I didn't really keep it in, but I rubbed out all of the pencil lines that I had drawn so that it's a bit more cleaner. The blue, on the dark blue, my black pen doesn't really show up on it, so I had to use a white gel pen. I also have a Uni Posca paint pen, which I could have used. It's a bit thinner than the gel pen, but the gel pen shows up a bit nicer. And I'm just sticking down some washi tape. I have mainly like pinks and purples and browns and yellows. So as you can see here, I'm just doing my legend for the mood tracker, and I used the white gel pen for very happy, and the main colors for the middle. Usually I stay within the middle moods, but when I find myself not doing 5 moods, I feel like that's not enough to express how I feel, so I just keep doing 5 even if I rarely ever have very good or very bad days. So here's just my brain dump. It's very simple, there's nothing special about it. I just like leaving a double page because I write a lot of things like notes that I need to keep track of if I don't have space in my weekly, any personal things I might want to write down. I also have a habit of writing random song lyrics down here, so yeah, I like to keep a double page. So we're finally onto my weekly. This kind of layout is one of my favorite layouts because I feel like it just gives me a lot of space to write down what I want. Especially for me, I've gone back to uni, so I need a lot of space to write down what lectures we have that day, then also any homework that I need to get done. So I really like having vertical, is it vertical? Yeah, I really like having vertical layouts because I feel like it gives me a bit more space to write things in a neat fashion that I can actually look and understand. So yeah, I was just drawing those lines so that I have a space for events that may be happening that day. And then now I'm just drawing a to-do list so that I can have any miscellaneous things that aren't specific days that I want to get done within the week, I can put here. Also didn't show me drawing this, but I like to have a feeling dump just in case there are things that I'm feeling that week that I wouldn't want to put in the brain dump because it might get overly clogged. So here I'm just drawing some shapes so that I can write the numbers of the days of the week. And that's me done. So here's just a flip through of the whole month. I really like this. As I said before, the beginning with the collage bit, maybe I wouldn't include that if I could go back, but I'm really happy with it. I think primary colours make me feel very happy and very like back to school in that kind of mood. Reminds me of primary school, especially these colours. They're so bright and I really love them. But yeah, thank you for watching my video.